I can swim. Just can't walk or dress myself. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Salute, and welcome. Welcome back to the Black Ocean. Now, so we can deep in with your host, the one and only Great Black Shark. Oh, yes, family, let me tell you right now. If you thought the last couple of broadcasts that I did on this channel here were something that's going to make the Shillbillies curse my very name for generations to come and pass it down in their wills for their children to curse my name, you haven't seen anything yet, because let me tell you something. Tonight's evidence that I have to bring to my audience, it's damning beyond all explanations, just like I said on the community tab. And we're going to address that and several other issues here tonight, because I've been made aware of some recent developments from the Harris campaign. Okay. Oh boy, we got a lot to cover here tonight. I'm going to tell you something. One of the things that I love about the current hour of our history that we're in right now in foundational Black America, okay? We're letting these people know across the board that respect is non-negotiable, okay? It is going to be completely non-negotiable from here on out. That is the new way under the sun, whether you like it or not. And see, one of the things that I'm going to do with my platform, and have been doing for years, I try to drill that into our people that when it comes to your respect, that is not to be compromised at all, especially when you're trying to do what's in the best interest for you, your family, and your community, okay? So I'm just letting y'all know that tonight's broadcast, oh yeah, you're going to want to take some notes over here tonight. In addition to the things that we're going to be covering, we're going to have to get some rules straight, okay? And I'm going to do that right after tonight's sponsor, okay? Because I want to make sure enough people are in here where everybody understand that. Y'all know I usually like to try to be laid back, but we're going to have to get some things straightened out, okay? And we're going to get that straightened out right after tonight's sponsor, okay? So with that said, let me go ahead and greet my esteemed guest that I see joining us here. Let me make sure I see person. Make sure that is up. All right, let me scroll up and see who I see. I see the good brother Seven Scales in the building. I see Melanated Tan here, Patricia Jenkins, the brilliant librarian. I see Quandor's Falk. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Welcome to you, brother or sister. I see Silla T in the building. Let's see Michael Williams in here. The good brother Black Tree United is in here. Let's see Tanisha Murdoch. I see you, sister. Dr. Chanel Phillips. I see you. Most hated bronze flat power guide. Okay, salute and welcome to you. Hadn't seen that name before, but you're welcome. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Carla Wilson is in here. My Lieutenant Tam Chan with her gorgeous self is in here. Salute, welcome. I see Sakina in here. Let's see. Make sure I'm missing anybody. Rashawn Graham's in the building. My good brother Project Leroy, and the sister Stun Zed is in the house. Okay. Family, first and foremost, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear, because if not, I will get that adjusted. I want to make sure that at least we start out that way, because y'all know over here when we get to cooking, hey, listen, they coming. Let me tell y'all something, right? I want to address this before we get rocking and rolling with the sponsor here, because y'all going to love this one. It fits so into what we're going to have to discuss here tonight. But one of the things that a lot of people tend to make the mistake of, they judge whether they mess with certain channels and new Black media by the channel size. Oh, no, that is not true. Let me tell you something. I don't care whether you have 1 million subscribers, 300,000, 100,000, 50,000, 100 subscribers. If you telling the truth in a way where it resonates with Black people, see, let me make sure y'all understand this. It doesn't matter that you don't have an audience of thousands of people. All it takes, this is how afraid white power is of people getting on code, and any Black person, even just one, man or woman, especially in foundational Black American freedom culture, all it takes is just one to be exposing something about them that educates the masses and make you do one thing that they're actually trying to make illegal while it's still legal. I encourage everybody to use that. That one thing is that when you think, all it takes is for one of us to make everybody else go, you know what? That brother or sister has a point. Brother or sister has a point. See, they fear that because you got to understand something. Warfare starts in the mind, okay? Your thoughts and how focused they are determines the direction of not only your life, but generations to come. You understand? So just understand that, hey, listen, they hear us coming at them and we exposing the lies like we're going to do over tonight. Expect them to mess with your channel. Anybody, look, let me tell you how you know. Even over here in these grassroots platforms or independent platforms, I'm going to give you a good rule of thumb to follow in case you're not aware of this. Okay? And let me see, people showing love on the cash app. Salute to the good brother Rashawn for the cash app earlier on. Thank you very much for that, my good brother. Let me give you a quick rule of thumb here, how you can tell the difference between the platforms that are actually worth listening to and making a difference out here versus the ones that are not. Just like on mainstream media, when you see people like the Al Sharptons or whoever they want to put up there from Black Society, and no matter whether it's the left-wing media or the right-wing media, they put black people, men or women, up there on their platforms, and they never attack them. They happy to see them all the time. They never demonize them in the media. Those are the people that are not a threat, okay? So now, in like fashion, when it comes to these independent platforms, if they're not messing with your channel in some type of way, okay, and I'm not talking about people that's breaking obvious rules on here. I'm talking about, like they pulled the other broadcast where they interrupt something that's clearly fair use or what have you, or they try to hit you with all kinds of stuff behind the scenes. If they're not messing with you like that, you the safe one, okay? You the safe one. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get straight into our sponsor. Oh, y'all going to love this because, well, wait, let me be clear. That's something I'm going to make sure I'm doing here because maybe I need to do a better job being clear in my language. My audience, okay, everybody else isn't going to live it. They're going to hate it, okay? Oh, they're going to hate it. They're going to hate it. And let me know if you can hear me loud and clear because I'm seeing something over here on my end because, look, I'm going to tell you, they already know to get started early. Oh, trust me, they ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen that yet. We're going to make this one stick over here tonight. Oh, yes, we are. So without further ado, we're going to get this sponsor rolling, and then we're going to come back and get these rules straight, and we're going to make sure everybody understand what the rules are.
Not changed.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
You know, we have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke.
The people who are convicted in prison, like the Boston Marathon bomber, on death row, people who are convicted of sexual assault, they should be able to vote?
I think we should have that conversation.
What would you do about the millions of, specifically, assault weapons that are already in circulation? What do you do about those?
Well, there are approximately 5 million, to your point, Craig. We have to have a buyback program, and I support a mandatory buyback program.
It is outdated. It is wrong-headed thinking to think that the only way you're going to get communities to be safe is to put more police officers on the street.
It also says, quote, every individual who is a resident of the United States is entitled to benefits for health care services under this act. Not every individual who's a citizen, but every individual who's a resident. So you support giving universal health care, Medicare for all, to people who are in this country illegally?
Let me just be very clear about this. I am opposed to any policy that would deny in our country any human being from access to public safety, public education, or public health, period.
To reiterate, you support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we?
And yeah, I am a radical.
Is my values have not changed.
Yeah, that's your Ski-Wee VP that they, wagging their fingers at, telling us, swearing up and down that she's a black woman and she's not. She's full-blooded East Indian. That's who they wagging their fingers at, Black America, telling us we better go vote her or else. And the nerve of these people, I mean, be honest with you. Even if they're not saying it like that, that's the tone they're taking. You better go vote for Commandment or else. Especially when they're talking to foundational Black American freedmen men. That's exactly what they're doing. But see, I'm going to tell you right now, none of us are having that, okay? We're not going to have that at all. We're going to make that very clear here tonight. But before we get into tonight's exegesis over here, let's get these rules straight about my platform, okay? This is the part right here where if you over here listen to me live, you need to be listening, okay? You drop what you're doing. Make sure you understanding, because I'm gonna make sure after I give these instructions, I'm gonna ask questions to make sure everybody over here understands it. And if you listen to this on the playback, it would behoove you to ask questions in the comment section if you don't understand, just in case you miss this and catch it later. Let me make something clear about all of my platforms, including Patreon, okay? When I do a broadcast on any specific topic over here, and I'm clear on what I'm saying, because I'm one of the people in New Black Media, you cannot say that you don't understand what I'm saying. You do. You have to be willfully ignorant. I don't mind disagreement, but one thing that's not going to be done, and let me say it again, that means even on Patreon, in any tier, you're not going to be willfully obtuse. You're not going to be willfully ignorant. You're not going to go back and forth with me just to be contrary for the sake of being contrary. And let me make this clear also. What you're not going to do is put words in my mouth that I didn't say. Well, everybody that's been rocking with me for years, you know this, but I need to make this clear for some of the newcomers and maybe some of the people that's here that don't know that. Because I try to be laid back. I try not to be so ironclad with things, but sometimes you have to be that way when you're trying to create a community of people, online or offline, where when we come together and get things done for men and women, you have to make sure everybody understand the foolishness stops over here. Now, let me be clear. Some people run their platforms with a bunch of foolishness. This ain't one of them, okay? Now, let me go ahead and make these rules clear. First of all, I didn't think I was going to have to do this on Patreon, but I have some moderators over there now, okay? Now, let me go ahead and make the rules clear. Just like you don't type in all caps over here in my chat room, I'm going to do it over there. Just like if my moderators have to tell you about that, they give you one warning. You start arguing back and forth with them, you're basically arguing with me. Moderators, here's how that works. Over here, give them one 24-hour timeout. If they come back during the next broadcast after that, you don't even need my permission to go ahead and permanently ban them from my channel or Patreon. Let me be clear about that. If you get that 24-hour timeout, that's your warning to sit your ass down, okay? I don't care who you are. I'm not one of the people that you can pay me to troll. You're not going to create an environment over here with false narratives behind things. And if you feel some type of way about that, it's your time to leave right now. I'm going to be clear on that. Let's get the other rules straight. When it comes to critiquing anything in Black America, whether it's the men or the women, this platform is one of the most balanced you will ever find. I don't coddle the women. I don't coddle the men. Let me make this clear, and I'm speaking specifically to men, since I'm a part of the Black American collective, okay? When it comes to men, we don't base what's right or wrong off what women do and what they don't do, okay? Because the minute that you do that, you may as well become a woman. I'm saying this especially for younger Black men too. Older Black men should know this. Now, let me go ahead and be clear with the next thing I need to address, all right? When it comes to judgment in the community, that's a part of being a protector. And one of the things that I don't play, whether it's the men or the women, when it's a threat to our community, we don't sit there and lump the threat in with people that are innocent. Yes, everybody is innocent till proven guilty, but what you're not going to do is sit over here and act like everybody's making stuff up on people. And I'm going to be specific. This whole Diddler thing, I'm telling y'all, boy, and I like it because one of the things I love is for everybody to let us know where they stand. You got a lot of people that's doing the roundabout, low-key caping for them. Let me make this clear right now. This platform will not tolerate that with him or anybody else, male or female, in the community that is accused of doing something and there's basic evidence. Everybody ain't lying on you. Let's deal with the Diddler thing real quick. It's a big difference between the Diddler situation and Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby had women from 40 years ago accuse him of stuff with no evidence whatsoever, and they sent that man to prison. That was bullshit. The situation that the Diddler worked hard to put himself in, that's his doing. Let's talk about this real quick, because I want to get this clear where my position is on this, okay? Because I've done a whole playlist of broadcasts. Go and look at the playlist section. You can see everything that I broke down on it. Let me make this clear, dog. When it comes to Diddler, and I'm talking to anybody that this applies to, male or female, this is the time to listen. When it comes to his situation, whether you believe people or not, because people are lying, and I've said it, everybody's not telling the truth. The evidence that they got on him, there's a reason why they denied him that bail. They got over 250 cameras, cell phones, laptop, and everything. So now here's my question to any intelligent man or woman listening to this platform. Would you bet your mortgage to your house, I'm talking about something that you critically need in your life, that out of all them things on there, they don't have him on tape or any of that media doing any of the stuff that he's charged with? Because I get it. It's been a lot of people that act like they can't read or they can't comprehend what they read, talking about what's the charges. No, that HSI document states clearly what he's charged with. Now, let's be clear. You can say, I don't agree with what they charge him with. I'm going to question it. That's healthy. Do that all day long. But to pretend like we don't know what he's being charged with, I don't play them kinds of games, okay? I don't play them kinds of games. If you want to play them kinds of games, you're not going to do it on my platform, okay? On any of them. I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Now, I can help you out. If you're a man or woman listening to this and you don't like that, here's what you can do. You can start your own platform. That you can do, but you won't get that off over here. Let me tell you why I feel that way about this, why I'm so vehement about that. Look at the hour of our history where we at right now between Black America, Black men and Black women. Finally, after decades of us being stuck on that treadmill, just voting for the sake of voting, with the Democrat Party in particular, who we're going to get on here tonight, we just sit there, not getting anything. The men stayed over there, so did the women. Now that Black men are standing up and saying, hey, man, you done let all these illegal aliens over here, putting them ahead of us. We're not going to keep doing this the same thing, and we're not going to argue with you about it, okay? Now that we've taken that stance, anytime the men of any group take that stance, the women are going to start to stop, think, and say, you know what? If our men are challenging this, what are we doing over here? We starting to see that with sisters now. So the reason I brought that up is that applies to everything else in the community. Because see, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. What a lot of guys don't realize about the sisters in the community, just because they're not arguing and going back and forth with men about a whole bunch of things, that doesn't mean that they don't have certain concerns on their mind. I'm intelligent enough to know that they're looking at this Dilla situation or anybody else in the community, and they're saying, wait a minute, if you can't differentiate between you liking a celebrity or whoever it may be, man or woman, between if they're a threat to the community and you just gonna put the cape on, that's not being on code, that's being foolish. You cannot be a protector and lump everybody else in when they do certain shit and say, well, we're gonna get in the same cover that we give innocent people. No. And when I say innocent, I'm not talking about the Dilla being convicted. He hasn't yet. But everything that people made up on him isn't a lie. Now, that bitch that came out and tried to put that lie on him, I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. She needs to do the same time that he's going to do when he get convicted. Because ain't no if. He going to get convicted of that stuff. Like I said, anybody in here would feel comfortable betting your mortgage on whether the Dilla did any of that shit or not. See, sometimes you have to put it to people like that when they start that bullshit with him and that particular issue. Would you bet something critical in your life that, hey, all that stuff they got, he completely innocent? They just got him in there for no reason. See, let's deal with this too. See, I like to be thorough. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing this for a reason, okay? Because I like to go on record with the things that I state, because I stand 10 toes down on anything I say on this platform, online or offline. All right? Let's go here with that. When it comes to that Dilla situation, man, family, do you not understand that anytime that you put the blinders on for somebody that's accused of doing what he's doing, when there's been years and years of people saying that, don't you know that the women in the community start looking at you like, nigga, can you be trusted around any of us, the women or the children? So you got to understand that when it comes to leadership in Black America as a man, the women are going to be looking at you to see if you really about what you say you're about. You can't pick and choose when to do that. You're supposed to be right down across the board. Let's go here. Let's get deep with this. The reason why I say that men don't have any business basing what we do, whether it's right or wrong, off what the women do, family, right now, and this might really resonate with some people. I'm going to go ahead and say in advance, I hope that if you've ever been unfortunate enough to experience this, because I don't know what it's like, but I know in our community this has happened. You think about in any Black American family where there's a child molester. I'm just going to say it like it is. Somebody messing around with kids. And then some of the women will find out, and then instead of telling the men that they know how to handle that shit, they sweep it under the rug. Oh, don't tell nobody, because they know what the men are going to do. Now, if the men start operating like that, where's the protection for the children? Do you hear me? Yes, this applies to the Diddler situation, okay? So I'm going to tell you again, when it comes to that, use your thinking caps, but whether you do or not, I'm going to make it clear. Don't do that shit on my platforms, okay? I'm only going to say this once. The moderators on Patreon, they got their instructions. I'm going to add a few more because I don't have time to just watch that constantly. I try to be very prompt about responding to all of you that correspond with me as timely manner as I can, because I do more than one thing. Okay, I juggle many hats. But going forward, I hope that's clear. So now, this is the part where I'm going to ask the question, because I like to be fair. Is there anybody listening to me that didn't understand what I just said? This is your time to speak. I'm going to wait. This is your time. Let me know what you don't understand about what I just said and make it clear, because I'm going to tell you, I am not the kind of man that's going to go back and forth and argue with you, especially no grown person. And I have very low tolerance with that for other men. I'll just show you better than I can tell you. Salute to the good brother Black Truth United for the cash out. Further, let me go to show you how serious I am about this before I put a button on this. And again, I'm asking, is there anybody in here that don't understand what the rules of my platforms are? Okay? Let me go to show you how serious I am about this. There's a content creator that I know. Cool with this brother. I'm talking about, man, this brother does excellent work in his state, in his community. Awesome brother, okay? We'll take nothing away from him. Won't hear me say nothing bad about the work he do. However, he was over here. Brother had a wrench. And I had to keep telling the brother over and over and over again, hey, bro, turn your caps off in my chat room. I saved that for when I'm trying to point something out to the audience that's very important. Yeah, man, okay. Okay, so some time go by, kept doing it again. Text him again. Hey, bro, I'm doing that, bro. Oh, man, my caps had got stuck. Okay, all right. So after I tell you something, I know you understand what I'm saying. The way I was raised, I'm not going to keep arguing with you. I'm just going to show you better not tell you. Now, I had to go ahead and ban it from over here. Okay? I'm just letting you know, if I'll do that to a fellow content creator, I'll damn sure do it to somebody in the audience, all right? And I don't care if you're part of Patreon or not. See, that's the other thing. Let me tell you something about me. Money, that doesn't change the rules, okay? The rules are the same across the board, all right, with me. Speaking for myself, okay? I can't speak for what other people do. I'm talking about me, okay? So now, again, I'm going to say it one more time. Is there anyone in my chat room, male, female, moderator, no moderator, that doesn't understand what I said? Because I'm going to tell you now, you get that 24-hour time out over here, that means the next time I have to address you about something, it won't be no addressing. I run my Twitter spaces the same way, across the board, okay? Because see, one of the things in Black America, we have to get accustomed to cleaning stuff up. There's too many things in our community across America where instead of cleaning up the whole house, we leave a bag of trash sitting in the fucking corner that's supposed to go outside. I don't play that because let me be clear. We can clean up our community. We, not talking about white folks, nobody else. We have everything we need to straighten out Black America right within us. You know where it starts, though? It starts with your thought process and what people, and men and women, will tolerate, okay? That's where that starts, all right? So now that I'm going to look over here, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. In fact, the business, do me a favor, because I want to be completely fair with this. If you didn't understand any of my rules on my platforms, let me know right now. I'm scrolling the chat room to make sure I didn't see anybody that said, hey, man, I don't get it. Ask me questions. I'm the easiest guy in the world to talk to, okay? I'm waiting. All right. So now that we got that straight, we're going to get on to business. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen, if you had to sit through that. But, because, look, let me go here with this. If you don't let people know where you stand on stuff, they think they're free to do whatever, because we have a lot of that in Black America. People just do whatever all over the place. No rules, no structure, no whatever. I don't run my ship like that, okay? Never have, never will, all right? Now, we're going to put a button on that. Let's get straight down to business here. First and foremost, it was a very momentous weekend Oh, yes, very momentous weekend in new black media. There are so many brothers and sisters that had excellent broadcasts. Let me tell you something right now. The one you looking at on your screen right here, let me state this up front. I don't care whether you think Jason Black is the second coming of Satan, whatever your personal issues are with him, whether you completely agree with the brother or not. I'm saying this to everybody on the sound of my voice. If you don't listen to another broadcast by the Black Authority for whatever reason, listen to this one on your screen. You hear me? I'm going to say that again. This one was excellent. For those that don't understand it, he actually talked to Jill Stein. I listened to the whole thing. I'm not going to tell you all what to do, but I'm gonna give you a suggestion. I'll put it that way. If you were thinking about voting for Jill Stein before you do that, if you hadn't already done it, whatever the voting laws are in your state, if you hadn't already done it, if you was thinking about voting for her, do yourself a favor. Go listen to this broadcast before you do that, especially if you're a foundational Black American freedman, and then make your decision from there. I got to commend Brother Jason Black. The questions that he asked her, that's exactly how you do it. The way he asked those questions, it lets you know everything you need to know if you have whatever your agenda or position is, okay? I have my thoughts on it. I will save that for a future time, but man, I'm just going to say as far as me, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do. I heard some stuff where I was like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't ever consider voting for her anyway, but I'm just saying for me, I heard some stuff that made me pump the brakes. I was like, oh, no. Again, shout out to Jason Black for that. That was excellently done, my brother. And I thank you for that because that is a service to people. When you bring them on your platform, the way he handled it, it was cordial. But it was common sense and it was no nonsense. And he didn't let her distract him or take him off message or anything. He asked the questions that the Black grassroots wanted asked. And he even took it a step further and let her expound upon what her beliefs were and did a good job of drawing that out. And as you know, Neely Fuller Jr. teaches us, get them to say what they really mean. I'll say this in closing about that. Where I stand with Jill Stein, I put her in the same category that I would put. What's the little white lady? The one that everybody's like, oh, she down for Black people, man. Oh boy, she fight back against racism. She speak up. What is her name? Boy, I can't slip her name. Her name slips my mind. Y'all know the little white lady I'm talking about. The one that always try to claim it when we talk about reparations. Not Marianne Williamson. Now, this one is a political candidate. She goes around lecturing people on racism, you know what I'm saying, talking to white folks. What's her name? Because like she always, when we talk about reparations, she was talking about, well, we can't do anything to the Native. Yeah, Jane Elliott. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, chat room. Jane Elliott. Look, I'm sorry. All the white supremacists look alike to me. I'm sorry. Listen, they ain't gonna like that. I don't care. They all do. Okay, but yes, Jane Elliott. Let me tell you what I mean by that, right? Before we move on. With Jane Elliott, you have many white men and white women just like that. They'll come in, they'll study us first before they come in, okay? Because you better believe whether it's Jill Stein or Jane Elliott, whoever, before they try to infiltrate, they'll sit there and listen. Take notes, send their staff over there to bring them back notes on things, how we talk in our lingo. Oh, okay, this is what's gonna get me in the door talking like this? Okay. They'll practice a little bit, then they'll jump out the gate and try it. But see, here's the telltale sign. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I haven't really seen any white people that will call themselves allies that don't suffer from this flaw sooner or later. They come in sounding like us. They talk a good game. And then they start trying to dictate terms to us as if we're supposed to follow their lead. And they want to take the helm of our agenda. I'm going to tell you right now, that's not happening. That's not happening. Hey, look, any white people that's listening to me, whether you Democrat or Republican, conservative or liberal, that day is over. You coming in amongst us after you done some reconnaissance to sound like us. Because sure, you'll come in sounding a certain way, but as soon as you veer off track, we're like, hey, whoa, wait a minute. No. That's not going to happen. So I'm going to say it again. I highly recommend that you go and make time whenever you have it to listen to, if you don't listen to the whole broadcast, listen to the entire interview that he did with her until it closes. I promise you, you're going to thank me for it later. And thank Brother Jason Black for that, okay? So I just wanted to make sure that I put you all up on that just in case you have missed it. And I'm going to say it again, even if you have personal issues against that brother, put your feelings to the side. This is about business. I tell y'all, follow information, not people, okay? So make the time to do that. I strongly suggest that it would behoove you to do it, okay? So now let's move right along into our next issue here. Yes, family. Out of you sent me this and I saw it, okay? So let me go ahead and put this in the chat room 3 times, okay? Because what you're looking at is an article in the Huffington Post. Oh, yes. Oh, you know we finna go in. Put that article to what you're looking at on the screen there in there 3 times for you to access it. If you need me to put it in the chat room again, at any point in the broadcast, just ask me and I shall do so. Now, for full disclosure, this was written by that Nigerian Philip Lewis Tether, okay, that the community had to get on a couple weeks back. So just for full disclosure, that's who wrote this article. But let's read it, shall we? Let's read the headline, at least. Kamala Harris's new economic agenda reveals what she would do to help black men. Woo! I'm laughing, man, because they really don't understand what time it is in Black America right now. Let me go ahead and say this before we read the rest of this. Right? Democrat shillbillies and white liberal puppet masters, let me tell you something about my people. Black America as a whole, but specifically black men, since that's who you're addressing. What you are not going to do is ignore us for 3.5 years, really decades prior to this. And then all of a sudden, because you hear us saying, hey, listen, if you don't have any policies that benefit the entire community, not just the women, not just the children, not just elderly people, everybody, black men included, don't bother wasting our time. So now, since we're on message across the nation, especially those of my lineage saying that to you, this article is basically the equivalent to me, and you in the chat room tell me if you're a black man, a foundational Black American freedom man. This article represents to me almost as if somebody, when you telling them something, be like, hey, nah, look, this is what I'm gonna need if we're gonna do business. Okay, here then. In other words, how many people in here have loaned somebody some money, and then, okay, come time to agree upon to pay the money back. And then, you know what I'm saying, you wait a while, you patient, you don't hear nothing, So then you start to pull up and say, hey, man, brother or sister, yo, what you got for me on that loan? Can't take your little money then. You see what I'm saying? That's what I hear when I see this. Bottom line, you're not going to sit here and ignore us for illegal aliens, people that are not even citizens, that then come here like, here goes something. You've lost your damn mind. Look. Let me tell you something. The new foundational Black American freedom man, we're going to show your asses better than we can tell you. We are going to train you. Yes, I said train you. We're going to train you how you deal with us and how you don't deal with us. And that's going to come with some punishment, political punishment, okay? Y'all going to get, I know it's uncomfortable, but you better get used to it. Here's what some of this bullshit says, and you can look up the article for yourself. This is the vice president's last attempt to engage a voting bloc that Donald Trump and his campaign have also attempted to court this election season by Philip Lewis, the Nigerian Tether. Okay, and as you can see, this is a current article, October 14, 2024, 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Daylight Time there, all right, and was updated 7 hours ago as when I took the screenshot here. Let me tell y'all what's disrespectful about that. And to the brothers listening to the sound of my voice here, you tell me if you agree or disagree with what I'm about to say, all right? This Nigerian Tether really didn't help her with this little portion that I read here alone. You can read the whole thing for yourself. In fact, I'll put it in there 3 more times. He didn't help her at all because who are you to tell us this is your last attempt to reach us? See, that right there alone goes to show you that they've become accustomed to talking to Black American men like we some little trained poodles. It's my last attempt or else fuck you, huh? That's basically what you're saying. See, that shows to go to show you that you're really not serious about courting our vote because you would never approve of this. Fact of business, if he put this out, as soon as let me tell you something. as much money as they spend on these campaigns, both sides, Republican and Democrat, they're aware of every single article that come out about them. They got people on their payroll. That's their job. Anytime the press puts something out, they're supposed to make the person in charge of the campaign aware of that, okay? So she knows about this article. Her campaign should have said, hey, whoa, no, as hard as I'm working to try to get this vote from these black men, pull that article. And then would have came out with a statement, I would say Biden-Harris, but we're going to say the Harris campaign. The Harris Walz campaign does not agree with the statements made by Philip Lewis of the Huffington Post. We value all our voters that we're working hard to get their vote. They would have put something out like that. See, because those like myself, when I see this, I'm like, oh no, this your last, that's almost like a threat. This your last attempt. Well, you know what? Family, let me tell you something. I agree. It is the last attempt. Because it's not your last attempt because you say so. It's your last attempt because we say so. Let me tell you something right now. In my state, Georgia here, and I can't speak for Florida because I haven't talked at length to any brothers and sisters down there to see what the political climate is because they're dealing with other things down here. But I know this for a fact, being down here on the ground in Georgia. Let me tell you where you done screwed up at. In these two states, in particular, if it's the same, but I can only speak for Georgia. The younger people, when you piss them off, you got a little leeway with them because some of them can, due to inexperience, you can kind of talk them into stuff. They'll change their mind. But see, here's where the double-edged sword is with the older voting bloc. And I'm talking about that boomer class, okay? It's a double-edged sword because if they're completely loyal to you, you got them. As we've seen for the last 6 decades, you got them. They're going to vote for you no matter what. The flip side is when you piss them off, and look, the help we've been trying to give people down here, we're not talking to them about political stuff. They bring it up. We're not asking them no questions. I got to see if some of them will be willing to speak with me about that because they got bigger issues to worry about, it's putting their lives back together. But just in casual conversation, I've been hearing them, man, the older generation, like, hey, man, fuck Kamala Harris. And they said it just like that. So anybody, he cursing. Nah, you don't know these older black folks in Georgia. They cuss far more than I do, okay? That's what they saying. They're like, nah, you $750, man. You wait till come November. Boy, it's going to be a Georgia surprise. I can speak for my state. A lot of people that they thought they had. Now look, let me be honest with you. I've heard this. There are some older people, men and women, from our lineage that I've heard saying, hey, man, before this, she had my vote. I was going to vote for her. But after that $750 thing, what she was up there cackling with, they were like, oh, hell no. Oh, no. They're like, and some of them I've heard say they're going to sit it out. Some of them said, nope, we're going to vote for the orange man. They're going to learn. They're going to learn, family. Oh, they're going to learn. So that's what I want to bring to y'all attention regarding that. And see, they don't have to believe me. Oh, no, don't listen to nothing I say. The people going to show you better than I can tell you because, see, let's get to this. O.D.L. Hughley, Democrat lover, as I like to call him. Let's look at this tweet he made here recently. Hashtag Kamala Harris has been the Democratic nominee for 3 months, and you've asked what's her plan for black men. Okay, because we saw a little snippet of that just a few moments ago. Hashtag Trump has been the Republican nominee for the last 3 election cycles. What's his? Hashtag Team Democrat Lover Hughley. Okay. Democrats, this crap right here that you pulled, it was already offensive before those hurricanes hit these states down here and many others that were affected. But now, language like this is the nail in the coffin for you. It's the nail in the coffin for you. I'm telling you right now. That blaming Trump when he's not in office and talking about the last 3 election cycles. First of all, let's be clear. Let's go ahead and engage this foolishness because this is something I rarely like to do because the only reason I engage foolishness is to teach a lesson, okay? This type of foolishness right here, let me tell you something, man. Donald Trump isn't running around pretending to be a black man. Donald Trump and the Republicans are not fronting and faking like they're going to do things for black people. So whether you like them or not, you at least got to respect that much about them. Okay? That's one of the things I give them. They straight up with it. That's how I like dealing with my white supremacists. And there are white supremacists in both parties, not just one. All right? So When it comes to this type of language right here, Democrats, your shillbillies are hurting you. I'm telling you now, they sealing her fate. It's so much going to go wrong with that. But see, let me go ahead and make this statement completely and directly towards the Democrat Party. Your shillbillies are hurting you. They handicapping you, okay? But make no mistake about it. When you lose this election, Black America, led by Black American men, will be responsible for it. I'm telling you, I'm claiming that badge of honor, okay? I'm claiming that. You're going to learn about this crap. You're going to be punished for the next few election cycles. Trust me. Because, see, let me tell you what's going to happen. Many of you, you don't need me to tell you this. A lot of you now listening to New Black Media platforms, whether it's mine or anybody else's, what you've come to learn now is that anytime you deal with a specific problem and you do get the desired outcome, you've learned not to rest on your laurels. This is what I'm saying. So that means, just as if any of you have played any type of sports in high school, college, you know that if you want to become the best or improve on winning and have a better season, you don't just take time off. You get in there, you study game footage, and you see what went right, what went wrong. Black America is going to be doing the same thing after this election. They're going to be studying what went right, what went wrong, and we're going to perfect, showing you that if you think that benign neglect was something, we're going to show you malevolent neglect. Meaning it's going to get to the point where if you're a Democrat and you still talking like this, don't even come in my face asking me nothing. Fact of business, I'm going to put this back into the lexicon because y'all know that I'm one of the main people that's been pushing this. Before any politician, Democrat or Republican, come to you, hey, I got some soap to sell you. Put your soap down, close your mouth, listen. Before you ask me for my vote, I consider it a personal insult if you don't come to me talking about what you've already done that I can look at and see for my community. Not something you got to tell me about that don't exist. I need proof of concept policy. Remember that? I'll put that phrase into my platform's lexicon, my audience's lexicon. Proof of concept policy, meaning before you come to me about anything, I need to see what you already got going on in the best interest of my people, okay? So yeah, Democrats, mark my words, you're going to see everything I talked about come to pass. It's time. It's over. You will not have another black voting bloc that just vote for you for the sake of voting, okay? That day is done. It's over because, see, I got something else to share with you before we get to the Msdnc here. Oh, trust me, we're going to get there, ladies and gentlemen, because I want to make sure I cover all my bases here, all right? Family, I'm going to play something for y'all. I'm not going to interrupt it at all. I want y'all to listen to this because, see, if you think that you listening to me, because, see, a lot of y'all, let me make sure I'm clear on this. A lot of you brothers and sisters that listen to New Black Media, we appreciate all of you, but it's not about us. It's not about us behind these microphones. Oh, no. Definitely not when it comes to me. Y'all know I don't care about credit or anything. I only care about doing my part to empower and protect my community. So it's not about us at all right? And anybody that's doing it to get me my eye attention, that's easily to tell who they are. It's about you, ladies and gentlemen, because, see, if you think that you're not making a difference, if you think that you holding the line and staying on code and voting with your feet instead of voting with your mouth, okay, because that's something our women starting to do now. They starting to vote with their feet, not with their mouth. Now, yeah, they're talking about it, but now, and this is why I'm so proud of you sisters that this applies to, a lot of you sisters are starting to realize that if I'm really going to make a difference in something, I got to show you better than I can tell you. I can talk about it, but I got to make sure there's some action behind it. So I'm proud of you sisters that have embraced that train of thought, okay? If you think that you're not important, all you got to do is look at the pressure that's on the Shillbillies. They losing their mind. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play something for you without interruption, and then I'm going to come back and give some commentary on it. It's going to be proof that what I just said, you are having an effect on them.
The fuck are we talking about? Y'all happy with that 85% of black men that vote for Democrats? Y'all think that's something to... Oh, yeah, but no, nigga, the 90 percentile. What the fuck are we talking about? Raising up my goddamn blood pressure. Because the one time we said at a goddamn committee, we can't do it. I hate it. I hate what this goddamn election has done to our goddamn people. You make me hate niggas. I hate you niggas. I swear to fucking God. That's why I stay away from niggas. The fuck is we talking about? That motherfucker trying to tell us that we need to get our ass in gear. That's all we've been doing in these goddamn spaces. How dare you niggas? Fuck all you niggas. I don't even give a fuck no more. Whatever the fuck happened, none of you niggas got $1,000 that you gonna put on your goddamn line for this goddamn election. So shut the fuck up, talking at me any cold type of way, unless you're gonna put some bread up on this goddamn election. Cause I'm willing to do that. Cause that's how sure I am about this shit. Cause that's how much damn for my.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I know it was probably sounding somewhat choppy there, but ladies and gentlemen, did you hear it clear enough to hear that Democrat Shillbilly losing his mind? Did you hear it clear enough? Because we can try to run it back if it didn't come through as clear as it should have. I think that might have been on his end, but family, did you hear him losing his mind? And see, I don't know if you paid attention to the that screenshot up there of the Twitter space. Stephen Hunter Johnson was in there, a big time Democrat shield. Oh, super Shillbilly Supreme. He was in there. Family, that's proof right there that the Shillbillies, they losing it. See, let me tell you why he's so angry, okay? Let me, because it's funny to me. Oh, boy, I'm enjoying the meltdowns that they're having. It's funny to me because, see, after I show you what I'm about to show you in a little bit, you're going to be like, man, I can't even believe this. It's something that we've been saying in New Black Media for years. But see, when it comes to the Shillbillies like him that's having them meltdowns, let me tell you why he's doing that. Because they're disgruntled that Command Me and Mr. Tim Walls there, Mr. Tampon Tim, they're spending all their campaign dollars, you know, the billions that and this is the sad thing about you goofy Shillbillies. You went on and on about, oh, she set a fundraising record. And the whole time cackling Command Me was, these dumbasses don't know I'm not going to spend a bit of it on her. She was sitting there with a bowl of her bathtub wash greens laughing at your stupid ass because now she's shown you that now that you've been useful idiots and you raised all those record-breaking funds for her, she ain't spending no money with black-owned firms. She's spending all the money with the white firms and the white adjacent ones. This is why you got the potbelly pigs like Boulay, Buffet Master, Martin up there crying. They don't spend no ad dollars with black media, which means him, by the way, okay? So the Shillbillies are pissed off because you're not even getting crumbs off the table no more. Remember those of us in New Black Media, I'm not the only one that has said it. We've said it for years that it was going to come a point to where you Shillbillies were going to be obsolete the more we get on code. Yes. The more we get on code, the less use they have for you. They're like, okay, you was only the special Negro when you had influence amongst black society. Now that you don't have that, this little half a crumb that I've been flicking you, I don't really think that needs to fall off the table anymore. That's just what it is. You're going to be angry a lot more than this. Oh, little buddy is losing it. Player, listen, man. Player, you keep talking like that, I'm worried about him. He might do something that might land him, you know, in the cell with Diddler. And see, listen, I really hope that you don't do anything reckless and you know, get sent up there with the Diddler because the Diddler is frustrated right now too. You listen, you think the Diddler don't pay nobody to sneak some baby oil in there? I'm telling you, boy, put you in there with him, boy. He was like, I've been frustrated. I got to take it out on you. I'm just saying, man. I mean, but you know, some of the Shillbillies, they might like that because, you know, they sassy. You know what I'm saying? They got fairy dust dripping all around them. So, you know, he might like that. But in case you one of the ones that don't, hey, be careful, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, y'all. I mean, you know, that he's disgruntled. There's going to be a lot more of that, though. Because, see, the more we get on code, you're done. You're useless. And I got to mention something here that breaks my heart to do it. Now, before I play this, everybody over here that's familiar with my platform know how much it's going to pain me to do this. But I keep telling y'all my integrity is not for sale with anybody. Y'all know that I love me some Kelly Rowland. You know that I think that when she walks, there's music that just plays out of nowhere. Chocolate perfection. Oh my God. I've had a crush on this woman for years, okay? For years. But when you hear what she's saying, I got to get on her too. I got to critique it because, see, let me tell you something. I'm one of the people I actually do lead by example. And even celebrities that I may like what they do, especially when it comes to the women, even if I think they're attractive. If they talking crazy and against what's in the best interest of Black America, I can't back that. And let me be clear. She's not maliciously doing this, but with a lot of these celebrities, let me say this, the men and the women, a lot of them, they necessarily aren't bad people. They're just so misinformed on things because you got to understand the athletes, the celebrities, the entertainers, they're so far removed from everyday society and they spend so much time perfecting their craft. That's all they really know about. So when these, political parties come to them, and here's where it's exploitative on their part to a certain degree. Notice I didn't say completely because they do know what they're doing. To a certain degree, it's exploitative on Democrats or Republicans when they come to certain Black celebrities or athletes because they know that these people are not politically informed. They can pay them to say whatever, because they want to use them for their influence that they have with their particular audience, whether it's an athlete, entertainer, whatever, okay? Family, I'm going to play this, and Kelly, baby, I got to do it. I'm going to play it without interruption, then I'm going to say what I need to say.
I was the first one in my family to actually buy a home. It was in Houston, Texas. And I will never forget going to the office where you fill out all of your paperwork. And when they gave me the keys to my first home, I think I cried. I think I shouted. I was also scared, you know what I mean? Because this is a very big purchase. It's a big investment, but it's a lot of responsibility. But I remember how great I felt because I remember my mom and I moving from pillar to post. She was a very hardworking woman. She was a nanny and a housekeeper, and we never had like a house that we owned. So getting those keys, that was incredible. So while I am extremely grateful that I was blessed and able enough to buy a house, you shouldn't have to go platinum to buy a home. 85% of renters feel like they'll never get the opportunity to purchase their own home. But here's the thing. Kamala has promised $25,000 towards your down payment of your first home. So please, it's important for you, for your future, that we get out here and vote. Let's make our voices heard, make them loud and proud, and don't let nobody talk you out of your vote. Speak up for your future. I was the first one.
Okay, so you heard that, right? So now I got her picture up here on the screen because I need to say this, and I'm going to be loud and clear with what I'm about to say. I already said it. Most celebrities, entertainers, athletes, whatever, they focus most of their lives on perfecting their craft. That's why they're so good at what they do, and that's why they gain the following that they gain. All right? And take nothing away from anybody's talent. But when it comes to political maturity, they lack that. Now, let's be clear. I can understand where she's coming from. I know about her situation at the business. The Knowles family somewhat took her in to a certain degree. While she was going through a lot of stuff, dealing with her mom, like I said, they didn't really have their own place or what have you. So I get it, okay? She doesn't come from money. She had to get to money with her talent. I respect any Black man or Black woman that does that. However, Kelly, baby, I'm looking at you here with them pretty gorgeous eyes, luscious lips, and that ravishing skin complexion that I love so much. As a man, I can look you dead in your face and tell you whether it's online or offline and tell you, baby, no, that's not it. Kamami is promising that to illegal immigrants first and foremost. I've already shown you that on my community tab and broken that down. And then if it did apply to Americans, what's $25,000 today in today's housing market? See, I can tell the sister doesn't understand. She probably, like right now, I guarantee you if somebody sat down with her and said, Kelly, sweetie, do you know that over there in Aurora, Colorado, you got Venezuelan migrants taking over entire apartment complexes? She ain't doing nothing about that. Do you know that all this stuff that she's promising, have you compared it to what illegal aliens that are not citizens are getting here? So the sister probably meant well, but no, Kelly, no. They can't even pull you out here as much as, look, let me tell y'all something. You know how much I love my people? Because all of y'all that really know how I feel about this woman, man, all of y'all know I'm telling the truth on this. If they said GBS right now, all we need you to do is to sell out Black America, and you and Kelly Rowland, you can have her. She done already agreed to it. I'm talking about she gonna leave whoever she with right now, you can have her. I will have to decline. I know a lot of you like, man, you tripping. No, I really mean that. No, I would not do it. I would not do it, man. I said that, and I'm somewhat joking, but I'm saying this in all seriousness now. I'm going to cast the jokes aside. You have a lot of the problem in Black America when it comes to idolizing and following behind Black celebrities. A part of that is what I just stated. Some men and women are attracted to certain men and women, and they'll follow blindly behind somebody because they're attracted to them. Let me tell you something. That's not a luxury we can afford. We're not children. We're grown people. And these decisions that we have to make here regarding our future, we can't do that based off like and don't like, who you're attracted to, who you're not attracted to, who got the most followers, who got the most money. No, you better start looking at what's best for our entire community, okay? So that's my stance on that. Y'all know it pains me to do this, but I that's one thing you can count on me to do. I'm going to speak the truth no matter who doesn't like it, okay? That's what I'm going to do. And now, speaking of that, now that we've gotten those preliminaries out the way, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you came over here for, we're going to get to proving that the DNC is nothing but a Shillbilly network, okay? Family, I got to give credit to James O'Keefe for this because this is where this come from. And like I always tell you all, I don't follow people, I follow information. It's something I encourage you to do. When you follow information and not people, you take your feelings out of it and you're looking at it, the information, and saying, okay, never mind who the person is, whether I like them or don't like them. Can I use what they're saying? Is what they're saying, first of all, is it truthful? Is it something that's going to benefit me and my community, protect or empower me and my community? And is this something that I think other people need to be made aware of? What you're about to see, I'm going to interrupt and give commentary where need be, but this is beyond damning. So without further ado, we're going to get straight into it.
It's just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Now, I played that right before we get into this because I want you to look at this health on the screen right here. The cackling commander-in-chief. I want you to keep that in mind now because Karine Jean-Pierre is a part of the Biden-Harris administration. She's the go-to liar that they have the wheel out there, just like all of the press secretaries before in any administration, Republican or Democrat. But I played that particular lie for a reason because it connects to everything that you're about to see. Keep in mind, this is who they want to be president. And this is why you can't trust the mainstream media. We're going to let you all see this. And like I said, I like to make sure I remind people of the lies as we get into adding to exposing more of these lies. This is all MSNBC, but let's make it be clear. They're not the only ones that have done this. We've seen that from the few debates that have gone on before, like this election coming up here. Before November here, we've seen that the bias in certain people on these networks. Okay, so this is going to further add to it. It's going to prove it.
So do you feel like MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can.
Meet Basil Hamden, a writer and producer for MSNBC's weekend show, Iman. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message of the day.
Hamden revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamden says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
So is MS...
Now, family, again, fair use, fair use. Shout out to James O'Keefe for this because this is where this comes from. Let me tell you something. If you don't know anything about him, I'm not saying I agree with every single thing he says, but one thing I will give him credit for, him and his organization, they be on it as far as getting these insiders to go ahead and spill their guts because, man, let me tell you something, man. Many of us have said this, what I'm about to make, the statement I'm about to make here in New Black Media. The incompetent operative class, this is an example of that. You would think that if you're going to be shilling out here you wouldn't be running your mouth. And see, let me tell you another thing I want you to draw from this and in conjunction with this exposure, because I'm laughing because this right here, the way they caught him is so comical and it's nothing but the truth. This is edited. They got his ass in real time. Let me make this statement to my people. And I'm speaking specifically if you have things going on that are above board and legal, okay? But it also applies if you out here doing stuff that's not above board and legal. I'm focusing on the legal part, okay? But both parties can learn something from it. When you're trying to get something done and you have a common agenda, a common goal, how many of y'all are familiar with the old saying, loose lips sink ships, okay? See, when you got the chatty patty around, whether it's a man or a woman, talking too much is never a good thing. All you need to understand is what's the job, what's your agenda, and you carry that out. But see, I'm so glad that people like this like to go out and get little glasses of wine and try to impress people with what they do for a living and get to talking, because see, I want you to study this, and the women in the chat room already know this. This is why I don't put up with the gender warring, because women are a very, very valuable part of our community when it comes to warfare. See, unless he's a part of that community, he probably wouldn't have spilled his guts to a man this way. Yes, all of us that are grown men with any experience with women know that women can walk through certain doors that are permanently closed to men. They picked an excellent choice to sit before him. I don't know what this woman looks like, but apparently it's the type of woman that he goes for, because he finna run his mouth and didn't know that today, when cameras are so small, man, and a part of everyday clothing where you couldn't tell unless you just knew what you were looking at. In today's world, where we have these types of cameras here, you never know when you're being recorded. When you go out your house, it's just safe to assume in today's society, you're on surveillance somewhere. And it might be right in front of your face. Let's let it continue.
MSNBC is just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected.
Yes. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
Are they just the Democratic Party's mouthpiece?
Exactly.
MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Ooh, he said that with a big old smile on his fat face. Exactly. All them teeth showing. Exactly. Woo. Basil, I'm going to say something, and I'm not going to say I'm wishing it on him, but I'm just going to be realistic, because I understand how these people play. You see what they keep trying to do to the orange man. They steady trying to take him out. Basil, don't be surprised, and we may never know about it, but don't be surprised if, he go missing. Don't be surprised if he go missing, because, see, you better understand that the dirty part of these political parties, they operate just like the mafia, man. This right here was a mistake. Look, this was an Epstein-level mistake, and you see what happened to Epstein, right? You get to talking like this, you become a liability with everything that these people have at stake, with the kind of money that they putting behind it. Don't you know people would take you out of here about that? I guarantee you, man, that wherever he is right now, he regretting this. I wonder, somebody better check on him, man, because, boy, if you think it's bad so far, you ain't seen nothing. Let's let it continue.
Yeah.
Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years.
Viewers get mad at the guests or the hosts if the hosts were to criticize Democrats. They've made their viewers dumber over the years. I think brainwashing and dumbing down,
it's bad.
Aggressive.
I get it.
Helps Trump.
When she's delivering.
Did you hear that? This fool said, I think they've made their viewers dumber over the years, with a big ass smile on his face. Oh, yeah, somebody better check on Basil. And I agree with you, Brother Michael Williams. Our women are experts in gathering information. Our officers are exactly almost as good as Mission Impossible. I'm going to go one better. It ain't Mission Impossible when a group of sisters, especially foundational Black American freedmen sisters, and some non-FBA sisters, but definitely I can speak on knowing the women of my lineage because I grew up around them. It ain't Mission Impossible when they want to know something. Where my sisters at in here, man? When y'all want to know something, y'all gonna find a way. It's mission possible. It's extremely possible. Back to business, it's mission will find out. Oh, I'm telling you that. Look, check this out, fellas. How many of y'all here, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we when they get into investigation mode, how many of y'all recognize when, they ask you about something They feel like they don't get the else they need, and they start arguing. Cause see, you good while they running that mile, okay? I'm finna pick on y'all sisters a little bit, but I appreciate you. You good while they run that mile, but when they start talking, they do that little laugh. Okay. Well, when she said that, okay, just know the investigation will be launched. It is on. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I don't expect the sisters to share their secrets, but I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna tell you what I believe over the years before we get back to this. When it comes to our women investigating and getting facts, I believe each one of them got a secret underground bunker somewhere. Okay, if you know anything about a skill for those of the ex-military, a secure room where they talk and briefings, I believe they got their own skills and an executive staff. They're like, all right, we're gonna have to find out truth these niggas ain't telling us. Okay, so everybody know their positions. Man, boy, they probably look. And that's what I believe. I believe they got a secret spy network that we don't know nothing about. They like the mafia. They exist, but they don't exist. Shout out to y'all for putting this to use and going in on these Shillbillies. I appreciate you, sisters. Okay, the Lord knows, boy, you ain't gonna keep nothing from my women, boy. You think you are? Okay, cool. Look, fellas, let me ask you a question. How many times we done thought we done fooled some of our women, man? Like, y'all, she'll never find that out. Man, she come and ask you that one question to see if you gonna tell the truth. Then if you say, okay, I got deflect, got to try to distract her with something. She ain't falling for none of that. She pull out the Rolodex, Exhibit A, throw a PowerPoint up on the wall. Like, damn, how did she find that out? Oh my God, man. But listen. I love it that y'all employing that in the use of the community, okay? Boy, when they turn it towards us, boy. So, see, that's why we don't bother lying. The real players, man, we don't bother. We just like, hey, man, I'm not finna lie about this. Because if you lie to this woman, bro, she gonna find out. Just tell the truth. Just be like, look, all right, yeah, this is what I got going on, all right? We save ourselves that headache, man. I'm trying to tell you, boy, listen. And then don't think you're gonna get away because the confrontation is coming. I don't care what you do, okay? You think you're gonna run away? Our women will parachute down. Like the brother was saying about Mission Impossible. Dun, 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 dun. Ha ha, nigga. You thought you were gonna get away from this confrontation? Let me tell you, like, oh my God. So I'm just saying, brothers, I'm glad that they're employing this today for the benefit of the community. I got jokes, but we're gonna get back to business here, man. Let me tell you, family, all jokes aside, everything else you about to hear, you're gonna see why I told y'all that this is damning beyond all explanation. Let's let it continue.
Hearing these messages now, I think she keeps getting better.
Kamala Harris is telling the truth. The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. They purposefully pronounce her name wrong.
But as a black woman, the product of a mixed marriage, she's an inspiration.
I don't know, Nicole, vote for her or don't vote for her, but isn't it great to just have a positive conversation right now?
Last week, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris's first mainstream media solo interview of her presidential run with MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle. Many people were stating how much of a softball interview it was. Here's a clip from that.
I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, working at a McDonald's? Yes or no? That's it.
I have.
Okay.
With that, OMG decided to look into MSNBC and their cozy relationship with the vice president. Meet Basil Hamden, a writer and producer for MSNBC's weekend show, Iman. Hamden's background includes working at the Huffington Post as a news director and being the executive producer for Michael Moore. Basil.
Oh my, did a needle just get threaded? Oh, family, did a needle just get threaded? You see, I do my broadcast in a certain order for a certain reason. Remember, they just said that he worked for the Huffington Post. Now, what did we review at the beginning of this broadcast? Back to business. For those that have just come in, you might want to check out what was at the beginning of the broadcast. I'll put the link back in here. See, look, let me tell y'all something, man. The old saying, follow the money, that's definitely true. And when you follow the money, you're going to definitely get to the bottom of things. But I'm going to tell you what else you follow also in conjunction with following the money. Follow the one that like to talk a lot. That's all you got to do. You don't even have to ask many questions. Just keep your eye on the one that's always talking, like this jackass here. Because see, that's what a lot of them do. They have these little positions. Even the Shillbillies that come over into our spaces, if they are lucky enough to still be getting that half a crumb that's flicked off the table, they try to use that to impress other people. Oh boy, they get to talking about who they rubbing the elbows with, specifically white folks, and then they just get to running their mouth. That's it. I'm gonna tell you right now. One of the worst things you can do engaged in warfare is give up critical intel. Okay, and that's what they're doing here. But see, notice too, they also showed that clip of Kamami lying about working at McDonald's. Y'all remember that came out, and that was a bold-faced lie. That woman had never flipped no damn burger. Well, I tell you, she is the ultimate bullshitter. I told y'all, she does have a use. I don't want her as commander-in-chief, but I would take her on my team if she played poker. I definitely would. So we're going to get back into this, and if you thought that it was damning so far, it gets worse, family. And it's about to get worse right now.
Met our OMG American swiper on the dating app Bumble and divulged about his job to our undercover journalist.
Remind me where you work.
Right now, I'm working at MSNBC.
What do you do? What's your title?
Writer, producer. So I a live news show on the weekends.
Okay, what is it called?
Amen. Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Basil Hamdan, producer at MSNBC, states that MSNBC is helping the Kamala Harris campaign, stating they are, quote, amplifying her message. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
So do you feel like MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can.
Which is what? What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message.
OMG American Swiper questioned Basil Hamdan about MSNBC's close relationship to the Democratic Party. Hamdan revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamdan says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
What you were saying earlier, that the MSNBC aligns too closely with the Democratic Party line.
Yeah, so they're often saying the same exact things. The type of people who work in Democratic politics and in the campaign are a lot of the same type of people on air at MSNBC. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from
Just the Democratic Party's mouth. MSNBC is the Democratic.
Yes.
So is MSNBC just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected?
Yes.
Even if there are like clear contradictions that would potentially alienate some of the viewers?
Yes, but unfortunately...
Now, let me pause him right here. Oh, yes, and refresh your screens. They're going to mess with the broadcast. I told y'all, man. Look, let me tell you something. I'm going to say it yet again. They mess with this channel for a reason. Because they know if I tell you that I have something that's going to be damning, that's exactly what it's going to be. It's not going to be an exaggeration. Before he goes into further detail answering this question, let me tell y'all something, man. People like this, pay attention to their demeanor, okay? Now, why am I telling you this? This isn't a black man, but you pay attention to the Roland Martins. And yes, Sister Mrs. L, salute to you and your husband. I definitely have to check out that Roland Martin interview with Kamami. I'm going to definitely check that out. But pay attention to guys like this, because this is who the Roland Martins try to emulate. You know why? Oh, this is going to hurt. Oh, this is going to hurt. Shillbillies, because those of you that are no longer getting your half a crumb off the table, this is going to hurt. They know that they have to emulate these guys because this is who Kamami will spend the money with. Oh, yes. They didn't think I knew. I know, Democrats. Shillbillies, I know. My audience knows. These are the people that they emulate. This is because look, watch this. Don't take my word for it. Listen to this Basil Hamdan guy. This is why I'm trying to let him talk as long as possible without interrupting him too much, unless I need to address key points like this. Study him, and then any one of the Shillbillies that's out here, the Joanne Reeves, the Tiffany Crosses, whoever, Roland Martins, any of them that still have a show, because some of them people don't have shows no more. But you study that and compare their behavior to these people. It's pathetic because they try to do their best impersonation of them, hoping that they're going to get the funding that they get, and they never have and they never will. But yet they remain on a wheel just like a hamster running till them little legs get sore. Definition of insanity, doing the same thing, expecting different results. But I want y'all to pay attention to this answer he's about to give here. Let's let it continue.
That's bad journalism, right?
It is, but unfortunately, they've made their viewers dumber over the years. Fortunately, they're not brainwashing people with racist propaganda like Fox. but particularly post-Trump, from Trump on, they've really narrowed their audience's mind to the point where even when guests go on their show to criticize Democrats, people get mad at the guests.
It begs the question, why isn't MSNBC's motto, "The network indistinguishable from the Democratic Party"? Per Basil Hamden, MSNBC is nothing more than a network that is solely based on helping the Democratic candidate, Kamala Harris. Just this week, MSNBC panelist Eddie Glaude stated Kamala Harris has to win, and if she doesn't, our young children in America will have the threat of being bombed at school because of Donald Trump.
We got to come out and try to figure out how to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, our babies are going to be in danger. Because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of.
I got to interrupt this guy. Family, this goofball speaking right here on this screen, doesn't he look like a groundhog with glasses? Where did they pull his ass out of, man? Well, what is this? And notice, I got to go here for a second. I got to go here. You ever notice that Democrat shillbillies, they just don't know what to do with their beard and their hair? All they know is to throw on a suit and a tie, but as far as everything else, they're grooming and the sass. Oh my God, the sass. The sass is just, look, some of their men are more sassier than the women, okay? Real talk. But this whole thing he got going on, he like a groundhog with glasses, man. Come on, buddy. What the hell, man? Anyway, let's deal with what he's saying, okay? I want y'all to listen to this fear-mongering that, because they keep Trump, the boogeyman. I've said this before. They talk about Donald Trump like he is the living embodiment of Satan himself, and yet these people claim to be such big Christians. I'm like, again, if you really are that devout to whatever your faith is, why do you fear one mortal man? Huh? Yeah, I go there with that. But I want y'all to listen to what he's saying with all this fear-mongering here, because, see, again, James O'Keefe, boy, I know he had to have his own security, man, because they're going to try to get him, man. Over the years, he done put out some stuff on these folks, man, that I know that the first chance they get, they're like, yeah, you need to have an accident. I want you to listen to what this groundhog with these glasses here is about to say, because, boy, he trying to make you afraid now. You black people better listen to this. You better get out there and keep the troglodyte from getting in office, as if we don't have a couple of them in office right now. Let's let it continue.
Having to not go to school for the threat of bombs, when she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous to particular people.
These are very peculiar people that are at MSNBC. Basil Hamden, producer at MSNBC, dives even further into how MSNBC hosts and guests are so in sync, they will finish each other's sentences.
Do you feel like MSNBC doesn't necessarily tell the truth?
I think they do from their perspective, yeah. They do.
But from like an objective standpoint?
It's very partisan Democrat. Their problem, and I think they would have a bigger audience, it would be if they were less tied to the Democratic Party itself. They should be progressive. They should tell the truth from a progressive perspective, but they shouldn't be tied to a political party.
How are they currently tied to the Democratic Party?
They just are way too cozy with Democratic politicians.
How? I can't tell.
If you watch an interview with a Democratic politician, they just finish each other's sentences. The anchor and the politician are just in total agreement about everything.
While investigating...
Now, before James O'Keefe critiques him on this, let me tell you something. That's a very good point here that was brought up, because anytime that these people, and I said it before, when they go on these platforms, especially those from Black America, there's no pushback. They got them up there just basically to be the mouthpiece that, their racist masters don't want to say certain things. Well, I didn't say it. Candace Owens said it. I didn't say it. Larry Elder said it. Okay. When you see them up there just amen and everything they say with no type of pushback whatsoever, or it's not at least a respectable intellectual conversation where there's an exchange back and forth and the real issues are being addressed, This is why we tell y'all the mainstream media does not have Black America's interests at heart. Now, the tether class, white community, white adjacent community, hey, yeah, they're definitely catering to y'all. They're definitely catering to y'all, and y'all don't even vote for them like that. Because, see, when it comes to the white adjacent class and the tethers, hey, they didn't come out and vote for Biden and Harris like Black America did. Yeah, they damn sure getting all the tangibles. And see, you think about that. You think back to that 2020 election for the Shillbilly that's still hanging on, hoping to get that half a crumb off the table. How have you not seen right now? Because you remember what they told us, we got to get them in there, then we'll hold them accountable. 2.5 years later, how's that working out for you? How does that feel to see all these other people? The agents got a whole hate crime bill. Illegal aliens getting tangibles that you couldn't even imagine. Yet here you are, coming out here raising record-breaking funds for this woman, and she won't even hire some of y'all to do her PR campaign work. You got to be the biggest fool walking. See, when you take all that joy and symbolism out of it, and you start talking numbers, sense, policy, you see how silly it make a Shillbilly look that's caping for these damn Democrats. It's amazing, man. But see, Basil, buddy, I know you're probably not a safe man right now, wherever you are, but I thank you for, running your mouth like this. Boy, I guess it must have been a fairly attractive woman across from him, and, they got him sipping that wine, okay? And see, this is another thing, too. And I'm saying this to young Black people, men and women. When you conducting business, somebody trying to offer you something to drink or trying to get you high, be like, no, I'm not here for that. I'm here for business. Now, if we're not going to do that, and this is a social engagement, you wasting my time because I come here to talk business. You don't ever do that when you talking business with somebody, okay? Take that from your brother, all right? Because I never do it. I'm somewhere to go and talk business. I'm not there for no alcohol, get high, no drink, no, none of that. Put this damn contract in front of me. Let's talk these numbers. If the numbers ain't hitting right, have a good day. Come back to me when them numbers hitting right, okay? That's just my advice to y'all on that. Now, back to what we're talking about here tonight. I want y'all to listen to this because it's so bad, it's funny, family. I get it. It's a serious thing. It's so bad, it's funny. The dude just spill all the beans. MSNBC can be as mad as they want. They can't say I'm telling no lies. We don't do that on this platform. Let's let it continue.
Subjects our OMG journalists always find that the subjects we investigate like to criticize or demean the very people they work for or entertain. Basil Hamden is no exception. Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years. Doesn't sound like they believe in their product.
They've made their viewers dumber over the years. Viewers get mad at the guests or the hosts if the hosts were to criticize Democrats.
Because they're so brainwashed
Yes.
into thinking that the Democratic Party can do no wrong.
Not that they can't do any wrong. It's maybe they can do wrong. I just don't want to hear about it. Don't say it out loud, because if you say it out loud, it helps Trump. I think...
While at this meeting with our OMG American swiper, Basil Hamden, MSNBC producer, did not want other people to hear the conversation he was having with our investigative reporter, saying we shouldn't speak too loudly about the issue. What is he ashamed of?
You see,
Now, you know what's funny about what you're about to see here, because, boy, this is hilarious. It's serious, but it's hilarious. You know what's funny about it, family? If you saying that we shouldn't speak too loudly about it, newsflash, jackass, you shouldn't be talking about it at all. Let me tell you something. I'm going to give you that example and that analogy of the mafia again. If this guy was a made man or coming up in the ranks and he got caught doing this, oh, it's accident time. You got to go, buddy. You too much of a liability. You talk too much. If you got to shh and then be looking around, chances are, dumb, you shouldn't be talking about it in the first place. Let me, because see, I want to teach more than one lesson here with this, because we're exposing this Msdnc network for the Shillbilly network that it is. But brothers, particularly, let me talk to you, bro. You better watch your circle, because see, if you got a bunch of little dudes that pillow talk like this, because that's basically what this is equivalent of, pre-pillow talk, whatever you want to call it, that like to run their mouth when they get around women to try to impress them, speaking about things that business-wise they ain't got no business talking about. you better cut them fools out your circle, bro. They'll cost you a lot more than you willing to lose or pay, okay? I'm telling you now. So take more than one lesson from what I'm showing you here tonight. Let's get back to it.
Okay. Little did he know who he was talking to.
So there you have it, family. Yep, there you have it. Now, I have a question for my audience. Everything that I just showed you here tonight, I got to ask it bluntly, men, women, wherever you at across the nation, whatever state you're from. Is there anybody in my chat room that just saw what I presented to you tonight regarding the Msdnc, because this is what they are now, according to one of their producers here? Is there anybody that thinks that there is a logical defense for what you just saw? Again, this wasn't edited. Nobody forced him to say anything. He got caught undercover running his mouth. Is there anybody in my chat room that thinks that there's a defense for it? Anybody at all? I'm waiting. And if there is a defense, I want to hear it. Talk to me. What could possibly be the excuse for this? Let me further elaborate on my question. Is there any way that any of you that just saw what I presented you here tonight would ever trust not only Msdnc, but any of these mainstream media networks? Because they're not the only one. That's just the one that got caught here. Is there anybody that would say, yeah, GBS, I see he's just the only one that does it? Nah, this ain't no big deal. Is there anybody here that has any confidence in that network after what I just showed you? I'm looking at the chair. I see nope. Black Truth United, Tanisha Murdoch, 225 Girl. I mean, you know, anybody that they know, hey, if you can make up an excuse for this, Shillbillies, I'd love to see you try it. Oh, I'd love to see you try it. Making up an excuse for what you just saw here tonight will be even more hilarious than what we just saw. Because, see, I'm going to remind y'all just how much of a bold-faced liar the mainstream media and the current administration is. We got to play this one more time before we get out of here.
Categorically full. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants. So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Yeah, so we got to remind you about that on the way out, because see, this cackling heifer right here on your screen jumped up here and told American taxpaying citizens, after going through a horrific crisis that upended many people's lives and took some people's lives, that you get a whopping $750 when they got billions of dollars for these illegal aliens, billions of dollars for Ukraine, Afghan refugees, purple one-horn, hunchback, people eaters, whatever you want to call it. They got money for everybody. And so for those of us in Black America. And you saw the extent that they'll go to lie. The one hand, they'll make clear that, hey, yes, this FEMA money is available for them for XYZ reasons. Then they'll turn around, oh, no, we never said that in real time. Boy, let me tell you something. We truly do live in the era of the smartphone and the dumbass, because today when you tell a lie in the public where it's recorded, somebody's going to remind you of what you really said, okay? This is what we are here in America, period, and definitely in Black America. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I got my point across. I want you to reflect and review this, because a lot of people probably didn't see what I just showed you tonight, but I made sure that it's going to be over here for my audience to review, and if they try to do anything to it, it'll definitely go over on Patreon, okay? Announcement also. I know I've been saying it, but I am going to start putting a lot more stuff on Rumble. It's probably going to be certain streams I'm going to definitely have to do over there so that I don't have to be censoring stuff and, oh, can't say this, can't say that, because I got some stuff that, man, that I need to go into detail on that I really couldn't even do it on Patreon unless I was streaming from Rumble, okay? So just be looking out for that as well. We got a lot of good stuff coming up over there on Patreon. Definitely going to have a very important broadcast coming up. It's going to be available for both tiers. Real lesson has got to be taught over there. So when that comes up over there, for those of you that are members of the Patreon, yeah, y'all going to definitely want to check that out. But that's it. Salute and thank you to everybody that contributed to the broadcast. Big salute to everybody that's been helping me help my community, because we not going to wait on no damn FEMA. We all we got, so we got us, okay? That's it. Take care of yourselves. Salute to you. Black first. And I will see you all in future content.